What were God's people going to do? In front of them was a big old sea. It was so big there was no way around it, but there was no way through it. It was too deep. They didn't have any boats, so they couldn't sail across, and they couldn't swim across because it was too far and they would have drowned. And they couldn't turn back because Pharaoh was chasing them. They could see the flashing swords now, glistening. I don't even know if that's a word. In the baking sun, and the dust clouds and chariots after scary chariot surging towards them. So they did the only thing there was left to do. They panicked. "We're gonna die!" they shrieked. "Don't be afraid," Moses said. "But there's nothing we can do," they screamed. "God knows you can't do anything," Moses said. "God will do it for you. Trust him and watch." "But there's no way out," they cried. "God will make a way," Moses said. Another minute and it would have been, but then the strangest thing started to happen. God made the pillar of smoke move. It moved behind his people and hid them from the Egyptians. Then God sent a strong east wind to blow all night long. It blew on the waters of the big sea. It blew to the left and it blew to the right until it blew into two towering walls of water. And there, right through the middle of the sea, a muddy pathway opened up, and God's people walked across on dry land. Gotta flip this book back. Okay. When the Egyptians tried to follow, the walls of the water crashed back down on them and swallowed them up. God's people were safe. They danced and laughed and sang and thanked God. When there had been no way out, God had made them a way. Many years later, once again, God was going to make a way where there was no way. From the beginning, God's children had been running from him and hiding. But God knew his children could never be happy without him. But they couldn't get back to him by themselves. They were lost. They didn't know the way. But God knew the way. And one day, he would show them.